Hello everyone and welcome to our very first Next.js Tuesday. I'm your host Johnny and I'm so happy that you are here. We have fun stuff to make today. We're going to be building an app with Next.js. You may be familiar with my live coding and chill series on Fridays. Mostly, well, anything goes on those series. Sometimes we'll be doing front-end, sometimes back-end, but let's face it, I've been doing a lot of Svelte and Svelte-kit recently, and I really wanted to keep tabs with what's happening with Next.js and React and all of that. Next.js remains a framework that I recommend and use the most at work, like for real life. In big companies, I do think React fatigue makes me like Svelte-kit more, and suggest Svelte-kit for smaller projects as well. But if you're a big company, hiring React engineers is going to be much easier. And Vercel, in conjunction with Next.js, does offer a few features that can be a deal breaker that Svelte-kit yet doesn't have. So internationalized routing, for example, an opinionated way to do localization and internationalization. With Next.js, you get that. There are more libraries, more components that you can find in React. Most of all, as I said, more engineers are more experienced with React as it happens. If those engineers are reaching React fatigue, are experiencing that, then I do suggest, start doing more things with Svelte-kit. But still, when you have frameworks like Next.js, like Remix, for example, React Remix, Laravel, even when you use those, you can steal ideas for the other frameworks that you like and make every framework better. So let's keep tabs on what's happening with Next.js and work on a new project now. I say new. What we're going to be making is a blog, with this common wisdom says you shouldn't be making a blog as like your first project or your second project or anything that you really want to showcase in your CV, because engineers love to gatekeep and they won't consider your own site a real project. So by all means, try to make a blog for someone else if you can. Slide into their DMs on Instagram or wherever and try to find a client. Try to find somebody else to make their blog for. The moment you do that, the moment you have another person that has some opinions on what they want to go live, what wants to happen, you will learn more things. It was going to be more beneficial for you, even if you don't use it to get a job. But definitely, the moment the site that you make is for someone else, the moment you get paid for that, that's something you can confidently put in your CV and impress the engineers that are going to be interviewing you. So that's my biggest tip. Don't really do a blog site just for yourself if you haven't gotten some of the other things sorted to strengthen your CV. However, engineers love making blog sites. You can make one on 11t, you can make it on with Webflow, many tools. But yet, engineers love to make their blog with more complicated technology used for more things. But that's why we're here. We love solving problems, we love using the latest tech, and it's fun. Just do it. As I said, for your CV, it's better if you strengthen it in some other ways. If you try to make a blog for someone else, that's great. You can even make it on Webflow, I guess. But if you want to be hired in the React field, which does give you a lot of freedom and money, like a nice salary combination there, salary versus freedom, value for money combination there, then try to make their blog in React and Next.js and all of that. That said, feel free to make your own blog as well with Next.js or Svelte-kit or whatever else. One of the most popular Svelte adders is about starting with a blog, like a blog starter. I think there is 5 variants of those. Engineers love to do it, even though the common wisdom says don't do it. So let's do it together. I do already have a Blogfolio site, and I do want to mention that when Next.js does examples about how mature the experimental router, for example, is, they do say that they use it in their doc site or their own portfolio site, their Vercel site, wherever. So even though common wisdom again says don't use it in a blog, people love using it for a blog. Big companies like Vercel and Next.js use it in a blog and use it as a prime example. This is a real app that lots of people hit, and we're using Next.js for it, and it's proof of success. So go for it, go crazy. So my site is already using Next.js, but it doesn't use the app directory, and I just want a big refresh of what is happening there, maybe a bigger focus on videos and streams on YouTube. We're all about YouTube now, and of course mentoring as well. Consulting happens, talks happen, workshops haven't happened for a while, even since the pandemic, so that's a long while. Photography, we do that, that's, you know, all fun. I do many things, what's this? Anyway, I want to redesign all of this, so I think we'll start from scratch using the wizard to make a new site, and then copy and paste things as needed, as last resort. We'll probably take inspiration on from Tailwind UI as well, and specifically their Spotlight template. You can actually, if you have Tailwind UI, you can download this, and it's gonna be an Next.js project and save you a lot of time. But that's not what we're going to do today. We want to figure out how to do things ourselves. And there are some different opinions on how the Tailwind team does things. Believe it or not, I don't agree with the Tailwind team on everything, even though I do agree with most of the stuff they're doing. This looks like a cool site. Maybe we'll take inspiration and try to merge those two. We'll see. You can see it live as well, even if you don't have Tailwind UI. You can actually go and see their examples. And then if you like what they're doing in some parts, try to do it with your own CSS or use Tailwind even better. So I mentioned how Next.js does get traffic on their stuff. I don't get like a lot of traffic. I do get a few hundred visitors per month, which is something. It's not like nobody is going there, even though I haven't released a new blog post in a while. There are some hits that people keep coming back to, I suppose. And maybe we'll do an AI integration at some point where if I haven't released a blog post in like a week or a month, then it will release a blog post for me. So I have to curate it or do something fun with that. Right, I think that's going over the agenda. I think we've talked about what we're doing. Let me know in the chat. How are you doing? What's your week looking like? You usually ask about the Friday and the weekend, but no weekend coming up yet. Hold strong. We can get through this. And we will start by making a brand new Next.js app using the wizard and see what we get. I will be adding a couple more flags here. Let me switch to the desktop view so we don't miss anything. So I will be using the Svelte-related wizard. You too can do this on your own terminal, but I will be adding a couple more things. So the experimental app flag, the TypeScript flag, and the Tailwind flag as well. So in theory, TypeScript flag sets it up for TypeScript. I do strongly recommend TypeScript as a strongly typed system. Experimental app should give us a configuration showcasing the new app directory, the app router, which I think is awesome, and it had in the last minute as well kind of affected how Svelte ended up releasing for version 1, which is interesting because I would suspect that they have taken some inspiration from how Svelte was doing things. The Next.js team did things with the app routers like this, and then Svelte came back with some different, with a merged approach, I guess, a middle ground approach. But also, I'll mention again, Remix as well, I'm sure was an inspiration on how to do this. So, and Tailwind should set up Tailwind, which is my favorite styling solution for the past couple of years now. If I keep going in here and resetting my screen, it's because my iPad keeps freezing, so I can't see the chat, which sometimes is actually. But in any case, I've copied this. I'll go to my terminal, and instead of my OG site, we'll create a new project. And I imagine that I can pass the folder name here, hopefully, and it will create it in this folder. So this executes the wizard. This passes the flags I explained. And this is the directory. If you can hear my puppy screaming, I do apologize. Hopefully the mic is centered away from it enough. We're working on separation anxiety. So let's use ESLint, indeed. Source directory, amazing. I'm very happy that they do ask for this because that was one of my common tips, like put everything in a source directory. Import alias. So they're using the @/star thing, which is not what I'm used to, but let's go with the defaults. Why not? And then it's not asking for anything else, probably because I've passed the app directory and Tailwind flags, so I can see they're bringing in Tailwind CSS, post CSS, auto prefixer here because of the flags. I think it would have asked even without these flags how to do that. And I'm hoping that I'll have found, it has indeed created a directory here. Let me quickly check, restart the screen yet again and start a timer for 25 minutes so I can take a break, because if I stay on this for too long, I do get a bit stuck and start to ramble on a bit too much. Alright, my second screen doesn't seem happy to work today. I do apologize for that. To love being able to see the chat, because you never know. So, we're in this folder. We can open VS Code here and see what we got. But most importantly, I am quite hopeful that we can split this window and start the dev server, which should be npm run dev. App directory works great. Localhost 3000, classic. Not the 1-bit does. I created a VS Code for automatic types. That seems cool. But also, let's start TurboPack, which for local development should be even faster. And see which feature still works using TurboPack. Now, let's hit localhost 3000 and see what we get. Alright, so a couple comments here. Gets you to the docs to learn, templates, all of that. Play with the result. We'll do all of that at some point. But I think we're safe to start going over our project. So this is new. There's a setting station for VS Code just because it figured out that I am using VS Code here. And it's saying use the version of TypeScript that is, I guess, installed in our node modules. Sure. And should I use the workspace one? I guess that's what this does. Maybe there was some problems with VS Code where it was using a different version of TypeScript than the one the project was, so it wasn't quite working, and this should resolve it. It is using the latest version of TypeScript and probably the latest version of everything. And I see that they're not doing the carrés, so they're not doing version ranges, which is cool, I guess, because I think that's the best approach, the new standard nowadays, that you should pin directly to a dependency and then use a tool that will actually automatically do a PR and update its dependency itself. We may have a video, we may do that at some point, I'm sure. So nothing too crazy here. I see that everything is a dependency, which is unlike Svelte where everything is instead a dev dependency. That's quite fun. Post CSS config with the expected things. Oh, this is the prompt that it was asking about. I thought that there'd be one more thing here, but Tailwind CSS and auto prefixer, you need that combo to have Tailwind running, I suppose. The README, we are gonna copy wholesale from the README I have from my old site. Tailwind config, interestingly enough, what it's doing, it is scanning for content in the source directory. I imagine that now that we're doing source directory, we can just do this, right? And scan for everything. That would make sense to me. Or just scan the app directory. I'm not sure. I guess in source maybe you don't have any UI, so that's why they don't want to do it. Maybe. But I will let it scan everything, that's fine. If it's JavaScript, I want you to scan it. And they've added a little gradient, I guess, to this effect. Like, we don't really need that. Don't need that at all. But we will be doing some Tailwind things here. Interestingly, no prettier setup, which we'll definitely be doing. So should we take inspiration from how Svelte does its prettier setup? I think we should. I think we should. So I will go to the terminal and go to which project should I go to? The one we've been using recently. Let's do the emotes of the X and see what they're doing here. Take some inspiration. So Svelte creates this format command that searches everything and then writes everything. And I guess they only have prettier there. They don't have like ASCII. They do have an ESLint config for prettier, which maybe we'll use. And we definitely want the plugin, prettier plugin for Tailwind CSS, which orders the Tailwind classes in a specific deterministic way, which is quite awesome. Alright, so we'll definitely copy this command to our package.json. Indeed, it doesn't exist. But the reason why we want that is because we want to bring in... So should everything be a regular dependency, I guess? I think that's what they suggest here. So let's bring in prettier and what did we call it? Prettier plugin Tailwind CSS. And we will take inspiration from our prettier RC that we have here. We'll copy that wholesale. So back in our next project, we can add a prettier RC. Wasn't it? Missed. This is our Next.js project. Add our prettier RC, use tab, single quote, sure, turn comma, no semicolons, print width. I don't really want to change this. Bracket spacing false, I think that's fun. It makes everything tighter and look a bit neater. Not this plugin. I guess is this where it should be saying the Tailwind plugin here. Did I forget to install it? This guy. What happened to this guy? I'm doing it in the wrong directory. Like a fool. Classic. So this is the one we want. It's here. Prettier should reappear. Don't save anything. Go back. We got prettier plugin, and now we can add the format command. Add those two things, and then our prettier. Guess what I was trying to do was add the plugin for Tailwind CSS. And let's see if running format. Oops, it's the wrong command. Let's see if running format works for us. It shouldn't be formatting everything in the next directory. I'm pretty sure it shouldn't. But hey, So this should be ignored. I wonder if we can point it to a git ignore to have it ignore that. Everything in the git ignore. Oh well. My puppet desperately wants to get in the room, streaming room. One day she will keep me company during the live streams. Right, so we don't want Peter to keep formatting everything in this directory, but it's fine if you do it once. I guess it doesn't really matter. You aren't supposed to run this every time. We'll come back to it later. It's not that important. What else do we want? So let's go back to my old site, still using Yarn, and just copy paste this in the README and see what am I saying here. Notable tech used: React, Next.js, Tailwind CSS testing library. Will I be using that? I'm not sure. Maybe we'll add it if we need it. Kenzie Dodds is another fun person, cool person that has done a lot for the JavaScript ecosystem in itself, who is using his own Blogfolio site as his biggest project nowadays, even though he has been in big projects in the past. I think he worked in PayPal, but his site is another big example of maybe you should have a blog. So I won't actually read my purple prose here. I won't keep doing the coding challenges because people really weren't into them. Well, they were, but not enough people were using them. And I'm talking about NVMRC and Yarn and all that stuff. So I will be changing this. That's so much stuff, so much fluff. So much fluff. Just delete everything else and we'll come back to it another day. Save this, simple readme, and go to our packagization and see what version was I claiming my blog to be. 3.2. Interesting. Should it be like 3.3 now? Is it a breaking release? I guess we're still using Next.js, so maybe not. The first version of this blog was Laravel and Angular, or maybe just PHP Symfony and HTML, I don't even remember. You can check the commit history if you really want to, if you're desperate. So let's give my iPad another chance at glory. And go back to our agenda, no, our thing here. So no gradient anymore, that's how they did the gradient. And I guess we keep going through what we got from running the project, the wizard, the create new app wizard. So they've got an SVG, two SVGs in the public directory, which we won't be using. They don't have favicons, actually, which is interesting in itself. They have a source app directory, which is cool. They have your sample page, I guess. They have the layout, which does include your HTML tag. I guess this is where you add the head, and it is using the object style export metadata thing for the title and the description and the meta stuff. Yes, that's not what we'll be using today. I'm excited to try to use the new file-based metadata solution. That would be cool. And they have a globals CSS here, which brings in Tailwind. Interestingly enough, it doesn't use the apply directive to do any Tailwind stuff. It does set some CSS variables. It's interesting. This is where they have the favicon in the source app directory. Interesting. I guess that has to do with their file-based metadata. And they also have a hello world route, API route as well, which is good for an example, I suppose. What is importing globals? CSS, I imagine the layout. Indeed, cool. So what do we want to do here? We don't want any API routes for now, at least. The main page will be this. It has a noob space, non-breaking space as well here, interestingly enough. But I guess we don't want any of this. Maybe our yeah, we probably want like a main element, but I guess that's gonna be it for us. No dictionary, no thanks. Many times no. We also have the layout file, which just has the body, so no header, no footer, no nothing. Everything that's in this page is all we get. And we do get like the automatic font optimization. How is that injected? This is imported and then used here. Interesting. As a class name. How can I use this with Tailwind? You don't want to add this everywhere, surely. You don't want to add you don't want to say that you want to use the inter font all the time. Just want to do it once. Like, why not do it on the layout? Maybe you don't want one font to be everywhere. We'll figure it out. So let's do no optimization and return a hello world here. Return this, and it is exported as a default function. This is fine. I do like using export constant and fat arrow methods just to always use the fat arrow methods. Because it may trip you up. Interesting linting there. It says if I try to export this, it doesn't understand it. Try to export the metadata stuff and it will understand it. And yes, remove the braces. Maybe we'll bring them back soon enough. We'll do one more vain attempt to see the set. And if it freezes again, hello, Siek. How are you doing? I did manage to see this message, but the iPad fails me again, so I will take the next break to try to bring my iPad back online. Until then, we'll try to keep it off. Right, so we have this, which we should probably open in a new window. So it's more fun if we have this side by side. The code. Alright, hot reloading, it's flashing nicely, great. And I guess just to have like, the layout do something, let's have a header. Have a header, footer. Three errors, it says. What are they? I should probably put these in the body tag, or else it's not legal. Okay, it's happy now. And let's just do my fat arrowing again. Export it. So we can see the header changing immediately, and I can only imagine that we are injecting some stuff in the head of the HTML. So let's see. Description, here we go. All right, SEO is working. So some CSS variables here. I see that they're doing like their fundamental dark mode stuff. Tailwind does have a CSS reset that gets applied here, but I will go to our friend, the Svelte project that we have, which should be here. Nope, it should be here, and see what I'm doing here. My app CSS, doing quite a lot. Maybe copy everything. And I'm sure we don't need any of that, so let's paste it again. So we're still importing all the Tailwind directives, base layer, component layer, tilts layer, and in the base layer we're also adding some research based on this article we went over a couple of streams ago, in my experience as well, some fun stuff. And I'm applying some defaults using the Tailwind apply directive. So in the Tailwind config, I have defined stuff like a copy color. Like I've defined my primary color, I've defined my secondary color, copy color, and surface colors here. Maybe emphasis color as well, I guess. And those things we will do again. And we're also applying the font family like this. We also have Tailwind forums, which makes the buttons work better, but I'm not sure if we'll use this straight out of the box, but we'll definitely need this with alpha value to get CSS variables inside the Tailwind config. So our Tailwind config indeed will bring in colors, and what else are we doing here? We're saying that the brand hue is this, and the emphasis hue is another color, which is the basis of the text and the background and everything. And we may, I'm not sure if we will try to do dark mode in this stream already, but maybe. But we do need to do, to figure out what's gonna be my brand colors. I think I like purple today, so I think I'll go with maybe this. If we have like one main color, maybe this is it. So if I go to, well, if I paste this here, let's see if it will allow me to have a nice preview. The answer is no. But it may, if I update my Tailwind config with other things, will steal from here. So maybe just copy this wholesale, why not? Box shadow, container, font family stuff. Yeah, copy everything. Copy everything, at least in theme. So in theme, no, we will change the font that we want here. Interestingly, this seems to have hard crust. Server. Let's try again. Should compile now. All right, great. And what I was hoping is for this to give me a little preview on the left. So I'd be able to actually break this down to its HSL, hue, saturation, lightness, but it didn't, so I will manually do it like a savage. HSL, no, hex to HSL. So what we want, this color, the hue is 271. So the hue is this, and this as well, and you can see that the background became like slightly purplish, and the emphasis hue if I have an accent color, which one would I like? Do like green or emerald. I like orange as well. Maybe not today. Today I'm feeling either green or emerald. I think I'm feeling green. So I'll copy this, break it down, still degree, put it here. And through experience and thorough experimentation, I have made my copy colors and my background surface colors be dependent on either the brand hue or the emphasis hue and some specific hue, saturation and lightness. So the hue is always the same for everything that's based on the brand or everything that's emphasis based, and then I play around with the saturation and the lightness HSL to get something that's appealing. According to the color, these may be tweaked a little bit, which we may do later. So if it's purple, maybe we need a bit of a lighter primary surface color, or a bit of a darker one, or the opposite for dark mode. Depending on your color, like if you have like orange, maybe you need different values here. It's just what's aesthetically pleasing. Just a tip, I guess, that I've stolen from designers who are great at their jobs. So when you aren't great at a specific part of your job, like design, steal from others, steal from great people, and you'll be able to create something. So let's see, turn it off and on again will allow me to see something in the chat. All good. And should we do dark mode straight on? Maybe not. Let's explain. Let's show what we have in our main page. Our hello world here. We are successfully in Tailwind. We're not in Svelte, so everything needs to be class name in React. Cool. So we can add like Tailwind classes, and we can add the made up classes thanks to extending that Tailwind config. So surface 2 is this, and the other one is based on the emphasis color. There, so let's keep that big, just to show that text copy muted, it becomes a bit grayer. I'm sure that it's hard to spot on the live stream, but you'll have to trust me on this. Now, the important thing that I've added in this huge file is that if the data theme is auto, then it will apply the dark mode color scheme if the user prefers dark mode. So we should add that data theme auto attribute even if we're not going to do dark mode just yet. So in our HTML element, data theme auto should get us into dark mode indeed, which is quite cool. And we can go here and showcase the surface 2 as well, which should be lighter. Clearly, I should be playing around more with the lightness here. The green one looks like this, so let's tweak at least the dark mode. Background, I wonder if I can just steal this background. Where is this? also too dark. So 8721 is what they're suggesting for a quite dark purple. I go to global CSS, where I defined the dark surface color, this one. Yeah, 8721. Let's just copy it from here. All right, it may be a bit too much, a bit too bluey, a bit too purpley. But I kind of like it for now. Like if we find a place to use it, then we'll know. I did copy the right one, didn't I? Yeah, so that's where you'd come in and say, oh, this is like a bit too much color for my liking, and say, oh, I want it a bit darker. That's where the hot reloading comes into play. But maybe this is fine. Depends on how our app should be. And again, how this is achieved is just by adding this auto theme. So if I was indeed want to emulate the first color scheme light, then we have the light mode, in which case I guess the surface may be a bit lighter, for example, but we'll tweak it in the future. Emulate. And in the future, we should make this toggleable according to a quickie. So the server will be able to define, oh, they want the light theme, or they want the dark theme, or they just want, they haven't clicked the toggle theme button. So it will figure out automatically. But this is a good starting point. All right. So I wonder if we did create a header TSX here. I think I have a shortcut for a functional component. No props, header. I guess all we want extracted there, and then go to our layout and use it here. Now we have the extracted header, which is quite cool. What was I doing in my old site? I guess I had like a super dark stone gray here, regardless of which mod you were, which may be cool to do. And then it's like super white, so it doesn't matter what your mode is. I wonder if I should make this be the inverse no matter what, or it could be like stone gray in any case, and then you have the other surfaces. Yeah, I like that. So the header, let's make it be PG gray 950, no matter what. Give it some padding. Should be class name. 900 will be a bit lighter. Can't really see it. Put it inside a container. So on other sizes, it won't get ridiculously wide. People will be able to click on everything we put here. And what we have is a link to the homepage. How does Next.js links? I guess it's the link component. But do you still put like an A tag inside it? To refresh my memory. Oh no, just say href something and you're good. automatically said. You should underline this. And maybe at the end we'll have like either the icons or like an about page. Can do that. Make this flex and space between. That didn't quite work. Is that not a real class? I think it is. The grid, nothing like that. Here you go. Ah, interesting. Is this because you want it to be time agnostic? Has there been some flex happenings? Ah, so it's for both. So space between is justify between. I wonder if they changed that recently or it's just... All right, beginning, the end. I do think this is like always too small. And I do think from the blog post, this blog, TypeScript should be able to warn me that this route doesn't exist. Maybe I dreamed of that feature. Maybe it doesn't really exist. Still on the previous blog post. Statically typed links. Here you go. So this one, typed routes. Here you go. Here we go. Not a long config. Next config. So now, maybe if we start the server. Right, this is telling me about route doesn't exist. What are you doing? What are you doing, Tony? How it does exist, I can only imagine that we need to create an about directory that has a page TSX in it. And now the header shouldn't complain. And if I click here, cool. Quite nice. Typed routes, typed everything. I love it. So maybe here we'll run an H1. So interestingly, the hot reloading doesn't seem to be that hot sometimes. It's good to know. Now we can keep going with our px to slide this slightly in and put it in a container, of course. Alright, we'll need to do something to expand this and get the footer sticking to the end, even on pages that don't have enough content. Our main page will have enough content, I'm sure. But first, let's review our global CSS yet again, just to see if there is anything else that I would need to do. It may be like a root, main root. We'll be trying to make this a flex container and make the main section spread as much as possible. But I'm wondering if there is like an extra div here that has like a next ID or something we should target, but it looks like that's not the case nowadays. So we should be good to go. All right, great. I think it's, my phone is telling me it's time for a little break, a little sip of coffee. Can't read the chat again. It's always good. So let's go back and reflect on what we've done as I gather my strength for even more. We don't want to ask AI. Speaking of AI, I am editing the next episode of the short form video where it's like bam, bam, bam. That's how you do this, instead of the streams where it's more exploratory and we ramble and we have chat together and we have all the fun in the world. It's going well. My goal is to have it out by Friday, so before the next stream to have a video, or like after the stream I can debut it, maybe more fun. We'll see. But definitely by the weekend's end, we'll have it out. And that's gonna feature ChatGPT, OpenAI, all the good stuff. Things we've been doing on the Friday streams, just distilled into one video. So we've added Turbo Pack and we haven't had any problems yet. And we're kind of messing with the Tailwind config, let's say, still. Or maybe we've done it, I'm not sure. We do want to do font optimization. It is telling me to be more British. Indeed, old chap. And we may do that next and add a font. We'll see. I am ready for more, so let's one more sip and get to it. Don't forget the timer. I need to put my phone down for the timer to start as well. Sometimes it gets me. So my goal is to spread this down. And then, if that's accomplished, I will move on to adding the font that we actually want here. And to do that, just want to check, what do we have as flex containers? We do have the body as a flex container with a column. So maybe in our main page here, if I just say row, yeah, it worked. Awesome. Cool. What's my hero? I guess we'll have a hero section at some point. Still the apostrophe from here. Sweet. And then this is going to be like a section where we say quite a few things. Maybe we'll do the typewriter animation again. This is the one that I want to have a class name. I'll always be doing class. It feels and let's put it in a container for now. Although if we do want to do like this effect where the background is a bit different, the whole background is a bit different here, which is quite cool. I think I will want to do something like that again. Then you can't put stuff in a container because then you can only affect the small background here. Although I guess that's what the Tailwind people are doing here, where they have like a white background. We'll see, it doesn't really matter. For now, we open localhost 3000 here as well. This is what we got. We may want like to constrain this by prose. And the footer, like the footer is like flying out and not in the about page. So let's just target main and say that this should always grow. Let's see. If that's the case, then our global CSS, let's say grow to anything. No, I do not. So maybe here on our main containers, let's apply grow. And now every page will automatically have the main container grow, which for now is indeed what we want. And let's make like a decent footer. Let's try to steal one. Let's try to steal one from the emoji of the whatever we have here. Emoji of the day. Remember, the emoji of the day app is the app to inspire you as well, where you can see every day a machine picking a random emoji, like fried shrimp. I have a friend with a similar nickname as well. And get famous fictional characters to give you nice quotes about this. Get them to advise you how do you do like a TikTok about the emoji of the day. Have a look at that. This is Svelte app. This is also a tangent. Why I'm doing this is because I do want should I have this in a directory? Maybe not. I'm not second guessing myself. I will create a footer tsx regardless. So if there is no page directory inside it, in the app directory, the app routing works, it won't try to resolve this page. So I think we're safe. And everything that's class equals going to be class name equals, because it's React. And I won't be doing SVGs for now. Just do a heart, I guess. And we will be doing SVG soon, I guess. But not now. Of course, this is React, so all of this should be inside the component. Let's name it footer. There's no parameters. And the project is Creepis. Check it out yourself. Get inspired. Cool. So now in our layout, if we do bring in the footer component, we are getting something more workable here. Let me put it in a big screen so you can actually see it, not my face. So things are starting to come together. You can almost see how this is a bit darker. Let's try the light mode too. Right. So it's good that we checked this out. I was talking about the container problems. So let's do the same thing and emulate a color scheme here too. Light. So for our header, maybe we don't want this to be a container, so it will reach out to all the page. But we do want everything else to be in a container, but we also forgot to add a nav HTML element. So it's all for the best, really. And I guess let's copy all of this. All we want our header to have is this background. We'll make it a sticky header in the future. So for now, just a regular header will do. But it does mean that I want the text to be white, I guess. Or maybe gray 50. And hover can be text emphasis. Hover, why not? Yeah, get them. Cool, but I don't want hover here. I want these guys, the links. This hover. Look. Will I do class name enough in this stream to be the other way around for Friday's stream where we do Svelte? We'll find out. So this, if we add a container to our nav, right, so this looks a bit better. Is the padding a bit eaten out? Not sure. It's not. It's just a trick of the eye. Cool. And maybe our main containers could do with a bit of margin, but that's by the by. I think it looks cool. So still looks nice when it's dark. Maybe the surface should be a bit lighter, just a bit lighter. But trust me, the header is a bit dark, but the main body of the page has a purplish tint for the background. Don't know if I'll keep this design. We're just filling it out. And this still works. So now I do guess we can go into font optimization. And I have recently discovered this cool site called etctype.co, which is made by Tailwind, as far as I understand, and has some awesome fonts. I really like every font that they have. I've started using Grandstatter for the subtitles in my videos. And I'm thinking, let's use one of those in my site as well. My old site was using Fire Code because that's what I use in my editor, maybe a bit nerdy. So we can keep this by using Trispace, which is also a kind of mono font. The cool thing about all these fonts, or maybe the coolest thing about them, is that they're all variable fonts that can be defined in a variety of axes in many ways. So not just bolder or lighter. So wait, you can change the optical size. For example, you can change this one. You can't change, I guess, that much. You can change the tracking, the optical size, and the weight, of course. Anyway, they're variable fonts, which means that you have one font file that's slightly bigger than a regular single weight font file usually, but you can do tons of things with it. You can change its weight, boldness, you can change its slant, you can change quite a few things, all at the cost of just importing one font. So that's cool to do. And these are free on Google Fonts as well. So let's bring them in, or bring that one in. And the way you do fonts now is by importing them here. And interesting that in this example they do add it in the layout folder, unlike in the project setup where they had it into the specific page. So yeah, let's do exactly this. Let's go to our layout file. Let's think about this. And instead of inter, we want to bring in a trispace. Hopefully it exists. Seems like it does. What's wrong with me? Just press this. And I guess for this to work, we should specify it. We should specify its class somewhere, and in this case, they specify it in the HTML. I guess because it is a font that you are supposed to apply everywhere. So class name for HTML. Not inter, I call this trispace. Suppose the name doesn't matter. No subsets, no nothing. Whoa. So I guess subsets needed to specify. We want a Latin subset. All right, and this is brought in, and I do think, like, it seems like since we apply the class, this gets applied in the whole HTML. But Tailwind does something for font family as well, so we can name this trispace. Should they default to a mono? Probably not. And then we'll see if we will do the emoji fallback later on. I don't know if we'll be using emojis in the page. Maybe not the main page, so we'll see. This is a hack to make sure that if you do have emojis on your website, it always falls back to a standard emoji and not a different emoji if they are on Safari, iOS, or if they are in Google Chrome on desktop or whatever else. So that's a neat trick for the future. And you can see that even just this makes the site look quite different. Cool. So I guess that's fonts optimized, and we talked about the stereotype. Awesome project. Then I'm saying that we should do optimized images. Interesting. Quite interesting. So in the old site I had like quite a few images. I guess I had my face here, which we can copy for sure. And then for the YouTube one, I really like this picture back from London. And the view I had was this, which was awesome. Those were the days. If people complain and make fun of London and UK weather jokes are applicable for Manchester and places like that. For London, they're not. The best summer of my life was indeed in London. And I am from Greece, so that means something extra, I think. I say that, but of course this looks like a bit of a cloudy, overcast day. But look, it's beautiful. Anyway, Images. Let's bring in optimized images here. And I guess we have the hero section that we want. So for our main page, this will be the hero section. It's the H1. Where will be this? And so the hero section is essentially everything the homepage is now. And remove this container stuff. I can use fragments here, I guess. Maybe not. Let's make doing all of this because in the hero component, I guess, we will be importing some images. So let's get to it. And indeed, we do want to do a profile pic. Awesome. So let's copy all of that. All of that, let's copy it here. And we'll have the image here. And I think this will be a priority because it's my face, but maybe not. Interestingly, they put this in the app directory. Why not locally? They put this in the public directory, sorry. I guess because you're supposed to host it in Vercel. Do you have to put it in a directory? So it does seem we will be adding priority here. These are automatically provided. Do like a blur up or something. So in the public directory, it claims that we should do like a like this. So if we go here, just like I have a huge hero image of myself and the sake. So let's just call it hero. Yes. I am a hero after all, am I right? Am I right? Everyone's their own hero. We may be too far in for this. I wonder with tsconfig, does it resolve like a source directory or something? Ah, so you can do this, but you cannot make it to the public directory, sadly. So you need to do like the math, like 1 jump up, 2 jumps up, public hero PNG, but it's a PNG that's wrong, so be JPEG, I think. So we're in a hero, 1 jump, 2 jump, 3 jumps. Whoa. Right, that's me, loaded. And can I simulate like slow connection? That may be fun to see if we get the blur up effect. Guess not. Maybe because it's priority. Anyway, don't throttle anything. And what do we want to do here? We want to add like tons of classes. Push sections here, so let's add a React fragment. And maybe a grid would be better. I'm thinking if I try to do this like a normal column, 12 grid column type of thing, I may get better results. So actually I want this to be 12, but then I want this to span maybe 3, and the other one to span 9. Doesn't look too bad. And maybe this is like a bit smaller. Well, and we add a gap. And we make this rounded. Circle. Like avatars need to be circled. What should it be? Rounded full, they say. Huh. The shadow. Have like 3 types of shadow. Mid. Shadow is a bit mid. Hey Spikey, what's up? Thanks for the support. So you can see my shadows have a bit of a purple hue because of the brand color we've set up earlier in the day. So that looks kind of good. Let's add some healthy margin here. And see how it also looks on localhost. not too bad. We will making like a typing end message at some point here. But because we ain't doing it now, let's align the items here. So that just looks much better. And I guess the gap should get bigger according to the screen. Maybe the gap is the same. It's just that at some point this takes even more columns. So this takes 10. Enlarge their devices. Button. Large devices. This just takes 2. Kinda works. Still needs the gap. All right, so is my face too big? Be kind when you answer this. Yeah, I think that looks quite fine. Like suddenly it becomes quite bigger. Anymore without this. Cool. So suddenly this becomes quite a lot bigger. I guess that should only happen. The change of the font size should happen together. So that's a bit better. I think this is too big. But I won't focus on this any longer. Other than I did some vertical padding as well. So next image seems to be as easy as importing the next image element and then importing an image from it, I suppose. Would it not work if I had collocated this, or would it import it in a different way? Do I need to use the public directory for this? Let's check it out for the next component. Because just on this page, we will say, we'll have a call to action. Let's have a section here saying, I do like from this app how they have these off-kilter images, which maybe will have some stream highlights or like the thumbnails from latest videos, and you can click and go to them. I think that's the way to go in the end, and not like a long section to horizontally scroll. So let's kind of do that. Let's just run now and do more another episode. So I think the one we want is the streaming one. Oh, cold coffee, mirror cube, fun stuff. So I did just say, let's try to collocate the image and see what happens. So let's just put it right in here. Call it streaming, why not? And let's copy everything we've done in the hero tsx. Let's import image from next image and add the image here. But let's see if we can actually collocate this. Maybe priority, this is going to be the biggest one. And I guess let's remove all the classes and just see what happens. Cool. So it seems like it gets brought in just fine. And I can only imagine this gets deployed just fine as well, like with all the sources for different screen sizes and stuff, without us having to use like picture elements and anything. Next.js figures it out for us, which is cool. I do see this decoding thing, which makes me think, does it import like a base 64 version of this because I imported it locally? Which does worry me. Yeah, I do think if you import it like this, it uses the base 64 thing. Although, there is an image there. Not sure. Not sure at all. But let's throttle again and see if we get a preview of the blur up situation. Oh, we saw the preview there. Oh, cool. It's better than I expected. This time it kind of worked. And we can have a look what else our options are. Next image placeholder types. We can just hover here, find placeholder value, blur empty. What? There are more solutions for this. It's not correct. Let's try to find it again. Example somewhere. Fix this maybe. I swear I saw some examples where they were doing all sorts of fancy placeholders here, like color based. But hey, don't get too into the weeds. So yeah, no more slow. So you see here, but since we have this open, let's emulate night mode. You can see the hue better in light mode, the purplish hue. We don't want this to be a bit around it. Or maybe full bleed is fine. We'll see. When we are here, this. Let's say that we want a container here. And when it starts being inside the container, like as big as the container, that's when we want to start having that little curve. Which I think SM is what does it. All right, so not too much to say here other than we did it. Maybe increase the how there. So it seems, let's make it more rounded. Let's look at the Tailwind stuff again. Let's see. So I do like the fact where if it's only this, if it fits the whole screen, don't round the edges. But if it doesn't, then do a bit of rounding. I think it looks nicer. I don't particularly like the shadow here, but we'll see what we can do. Where did we leave this? Don't want this here. So our hero section will just be this. Our homepage has main, hero section. All right, cool. And this thing. Should have a bit of padding. And this should have a bit of padding only when it doesn't seem, when it's not gonna fit the screen. Anyway, we won't keep it that big, we'll make it smaller, like more tame in real life. Like too many pictures of me on the screen at this point. Surely. But I think that's it about the images. It does seem we can do relative here. I am worried about this decoding property that doesn't appear in the other image. So that may be fun to deploy and see. Oh, it actually does. So everything's fine. Okay. Okay. So instead of putting it here, let's put it here. Instead of doing all this craziness to hunt down where this is, it's right here. Cool. And I am hoping that Vercel will be changing this to like WebP or whatever is appropriate, most efficient. Cool. I am actually using wearing the same shirt now, which is rare, I have to say. I love this T-Rex shirt. Cool. What else? I think this beeped, so I will take a bit of a break for a sip. And review where we're at. Metadata afterwards, that's gonna be exciting. This is the last thing really that I wanted to get on. So that's wood, but it does seem like my iPad is working. Turn it off and on again. Did work, remove the cable and add it back. Seems to have worked. Remind me please that next time if that seems to be a problem. That this is the way to go if I forget. But yeah, next for the final leg, I guess we'll have a look at the file-based metadata, which just landed in Next.js 13.3, and I was really excited about this feature, which is why I kept it in above the bonus line, because I knew I really want to play with something really new that I haven't played with before. Maybe we'll manage to do dynamic images as well. Maybe not, we'll see. Alright, so too many of the same tab. Open here. We love this font. Let's switch to desktop view. Let's showcase the variable font strength. So you kind of get like this for free, this boldness, you get it for free. Well, it used to be without variable fonts, that if you wanted a thin font and a regular font and your bold font and like two different fonts, a serif font, sans serif font, like you'd get quite a lot of bytes for the user to download. Well, now with one variable font, especially if I can do stuff with like the slant as well, you can do quite a lot in your typography design just with the one variable font and save a bit of your bytes, which you can expand then on using like ridiculously big images. Yeah. But yeah, what did I promise we'll do? We'll do the metadata. Metadata, ladies and gentlemen. And for that, let's link what they have to say. So, should we try to create an open graph image? I think so. Can even generate an icon here. I'm trying to look at what are the files that we can actually use. I think on the blog post they were saying this. So maybe that's what I'll open now. So Next.js 13. What do they offer? It seems it doesn't offer anything for like the title and stuff. So I guess we have to keep those in the metadata export. There is a look at get title, I think. Nope. Let's try again. I may have dreamt of this get title thing, so I'm not gonna search it again. The important thing, I guess, is it'll be here and search for it immediately again. Cool. Generator. What is generator? what are we going to use from all of these? Does Next.js know? Does TypeScript know that this is a metadata object? Let's start the timer again. Hello Matthias, how are you doing? Trying to find the main metadata we want to write here. All the classics, the title and description. I think keywords. Do we use these nowadays? I think 15 years ago we stopped using them. Hey, template. Here you go. That's what I was almost dreaming about. So every other page that returns a title should add it here as a string. Or maybe not. Is that too new a feature? I am on the layout, so I'm not sure. Let's look at this. It's a bad idea. Interesting. Maybe I should leave a comment here that TypeScript complains about this. And before we make fools of ourselves, let's confirm. Right, so we would have made fools of ourselves. You can only add the template thing if you have a default. Here, so Johnny McGrippis, same McGrippis, and now our about page does default to that because we didn't add anything else. But if our about page has an export const metadata, then that can have a title string that's going to be about. And I wish that we have changed this. It seemed with the refresh it did it, so I guess it just needed a bit of load, and you can see that without me specifying the pipe Zemagripis. It got there in the end, so that's cool. Going back to the layout, I can GitHub Copilot says Johnny McGrippis is a software engineer, streamer, and content creator. What a description! Thank you, GitHub Copilot. What have I said about myself? I'm sure that I'm gonna roll my eyes reading it. Too many descriptions. Oh, interesting. What a tagline. I did roll my eyes. I didn't see this at home. All right, so we have a default description. Nice to hear that, Mateus. Hope the week is going great and the rest of the week is going to go even better. So we've added the title. The absolute title is great. So generated and all of that. Like, I'm not sure about the keywords. I don't think these are good. I don't think these are good things to add. I do know that these are great engineers though, so I'm happy for their shout out. Absolute URL, maybe we'll want to do it. Like automatically populated thanks to versatile deploys, I guess. We don't need this, like it makes Open Graph images work. But I guess that's what I really want to do now, is to do the file-based metadata stuff by providing an Open Graph image. Icon would be cool. So let's create an Open Graph image TSX. We'll only be able to figure out if this works if we go and deploy this. But maybe if we go to Open Graph image.png, because how can I design this? Right, so no file extension and we get there. Easy enough. So these are the recommended sizes for Open Graph images. Open Graph images are used in platforms like even Twitter to have nice thumbnails when you share something, but the WhatsApp as well may pick them up. So when you message your friends about the site you deployed, then you get something beautiful out of it. So that's cool. I think you can add Tailwind classes even here. I guess all that we want is this. Also, even though we may add Tailwind classes here, would we? Is one question. I don't think it will be picking up our Tailwind config. So let's see. So if we do text copy, anything. Just copy paste. Maybe not. Text primary 500. Yeah, not impressed. We don't add anything. It's just too small. It's for Excel. So yeah, this doesn't seem to work, but if I did like rows, it does change the color. So it doesn't pick up the specific Tailwind config we have here, this experimental Tailwind property, which is interesting to keep in mind. I wonder if this defaults like EM units, because that's not pixels, I don't think. Does it just not do backgrounds? Maybe not. Anyway, what we really want is to just pick a color here from the Tailwind palette. Let's do the purple one. The lightest one here for the text, and maybe this will look kinda cool with an avatar and all of that. It will look even cooler. Maybe we should do this again here. Maybe I should put the hero image outside of this yet again and finish with something fun. So if I try to add this image, maybe we'll have a different image here. Now let's import it the same way. So as we do here, I wonder if they have an example for images within images. Or should I just do like image source this? Check the Vercel OG packets. Too many images here. How do I put images within images? That's my question. Oh, use emojis. It's always awesome. Interesting. You add the emoji here, and then emojis will work. This is awesome. Interesting. This is using a data image. So maybe we won't do that now. We also are not specifying a font. It doesn't look like we can do some interop with the image, the font optimization thing. It would be cool to be able to use the font we used in our layout file. So here we're bringing in the type space font, but I don't think it has like an array buffer or something, unfortunately. We can't download this font, of course. Maybe that's what we'll try to do. Let's try it. So let's find the try space font. This one, download it. Desktop, why not? And we can go here, public directory, fonts, reveal in Finder, open it, go to desktop, oops, open this, and maybe we just want the medium one here, I guess. So since that went swimmingly, we can go to our open graph image. My image is here. Let's be relative. Can this be relative? Maybe not. I will put it just in the app directory for now and see if that works. The name, copy the name with the extension. Make an array buffer, as it suggests. And then this is the font data. No images, but what we want to do is pass this fonts array as an option. So wait a minute, image response. These are actually options. And we also want the fonts to be fonts array, but the name's gonna be, I've been having trouble with that name, try space. And will that look any different? it can't find it. Can't resolve this. Great. It does mean that this actually finds it. But then what's its problem? It cannot actually parse that URL is the problem. So maybe we also need to put it in the public directory, so public fonts. So let's hunt it down. From here, we need to go up 1, 2, and then hunt it into public fonts. Will that work any better? Guess not. The other question is maybe it will work a bit better if we use if we don't use TurboPack. So let's try it without TurboPack, just in case. Nope. Invalid URL, you say. It is indeed 1 up, 2 up public fonts. So this should be resolving somewhere. It's definitely. Do we get a different error? Yeah, we do. So this is something that exists. If we put it not in the public directory, just put it right out. Yeah, maybe it is a TurboPack problem, but we're not using TurboPack. Oops. All right, custom fonts are hard. They did work on our Svelte stream. Hey, Will, how are you doing? Thank you for the support. So yeah, no custom fonts for us, at least not today. Can return to using TurboPack. Fonts at all. And we're back to having something like this. Can I have 2 divs? That's another question they have. Looks like it. So maybe it's actually here. I can put the padding. much smaller. Multi-read, maybe borderline. So this emoji, now that we are going to use it, this shouldn't work. Ah, they do. I guess they default into one of the emoji options. Let's see which one is nicer. Don't like that one. I think they default to emoji. These are kinda nice. The not emojis I use on my site all the time. Yeah. Maybe we'll go with those. Fluent flat. Don't know. I have never seen those before. Seems like fluent was an option too. Oh, shiny. And is there one we haven't tried? Blobs. Android style. Actually kind of nice. But yeah, I guess I can default to the two emoji ones. And is this accurate? Not really, because this should be in between, kinda. It's hard to say. Maybe a map would be better. All the previous we've done, or for the other ones. Maybe just Europe, because that's where I am currently. Could turn also Africa. I hope I'm not completely wrong here. Can't quite tell. This is too small even on my screen. I think this is Europe and Africa centering on Africa. Is it? There are only 3 options here. Yeah, that's the one we want. All right, why all of this? Well, we're doing all of this because now, if you share the main link here, in the head, it should have an open graph image. And that should be the case for every other page. But then when we get to the blog post, we can have dedicated ones. Great. So let's double check. Paste metadata, what else do they support? That may be it. So did I see correctly that they do not actually have an OG title and all of that? Interesting. So they add the open graph image meta, but you have yourself to do the open graph object. Title and description. So I guess in our layout, in things added. We should always remember to reuse, to add these, I guess. So our layout will have a repeat this. Let's have a look once again on our Svelte tab, our layout here. Let's see what else do we have. And does this become site name? I guess not. Type site name URL. How do we get the URL? It's an interesting one. How do we get the URL? Local, interesting. So how do we get this URL dynamically? There must be a way. In the generate metadata thingy. This one. Does it get anything? Does it get the URL? Params, insert params, doesn't get the URL. Why not? Well, I will have to have a look at this offline. So this should go this one. This should be like a nice hero button type of situation, but I think we're gonna call it. We did do enough for the file-based metadata, even though the only file we created was the Open Graph Image one, which we will make better in the future, but at least you have something for people to click on. When we do the blog content, it will be more fun. Everything else, it seems we still export from the metadata object here. And I guess we should go to the about page as well. And actually do the same thing. Title is going to be this. Everything else will be the same. Cool. So we can still see that the about page is slightly different, and we trust that the meta tags are gonna be different as well. But workable design, merging those two things. I don't think this is a workable design we can deploy, but I will do my trick of deleting the Git directory here. And copying the one from my current site. To the one we just created with the Next.js wizard. And then, like, lots of things will be deleted based on the main brands that we had. But let's call this 13 brands, our big revamp, and that could be something we can actually deploy. So did we leave any console logs? No. Great. So here, did we leave any console logs? No, it wasn't there. So not quite good. Here, did we leave any console logs? We did not. So this is not something I would actually deploy. But I guess if we copy the favicon, this one we can actually copy the old site, even though I would like to create a new one. If you're a designer looking for work, let me know, give me a quote. So in the root app directory, if I give this favicon to do this, maybe we'll be getting somewhere. I can see it here. If I refresh, we do get it. So that's good. Is there a manifest file that I may want to steal? Guess not. So I guess there are quite a few things that I've overwritten in regards to its lint and stuff. Let's see if we have any lint errors now. Guess not. It's great. The try space thing we didn't use, so I can remove it. Fonts directory we don't want. Gitmoji is important. It has too many things now. Sure. Put everything in. try to publish. I don't know if Next.js Vercel will manage to deploy this. Like, I definitely don't want this to be like super live because it's ugly. We'll need to do more work in the following weeks here, but I'm hoping we'll manage to get there fast to something workable. My current site does have a lot of fluff. It should have like a clearer call to action. We'll focus on the blog section, but not really the milestones and like contact pages, all of that. That's right, maybe we'll have a Calendly integration or something to that effect. Can I set this as a draft, or is that a paid feature? I think it is. That's why I can't do it. Yeah, so Vercel, I think, is saying, hey, you're not using Yarn? Why is it trying to use Node version 12? So let's use Volta in Node 18. Let's add that to our packet JSON. And add an engines. (18x) I think is what we want, but again I'll take inspiration from other projects. It was indeed 18x. I think I must have defaulted to using 18x here, but it did change the package log a bit, so maybe not. Let's push that and see if there are more deployment problems. Now, if there are, I am thinking that maybe I've made some settings like Vercel, please use Yarn to build this, for example. That will not work with the new project. But it's taking longer to fail, I think, so maybe it will manage to deploy something. And if that's the case, then I do believe we're in a decent spot. Like, you can follow the link to play with this for the original site as well. And it's not close to being something that I want to have out. Have like hundreds of people to see every month, but we'll get there. That's why I'm doing these new Tuesday streams, just to get on this project, get to grips with Next.js even more, the latest stuff, and move forward with revamping the site. All right, we got something. If I did have preview deploys, I would have done this. I would have made a PR already, so it'd be easier for you to just follow a link and get there. But for now, just make sure that we don't accidentally merge this. I will leave it at that. Simulate light scheme, looks nice, purpley. Good, cool. So yeah, workable design, maybe we didn't do it. We could do it next time. We'll use, we'll make a markdown blog work again. A sticky header would be fun to do, dark mode to do properly with a nice toggle. Playwright setup, Mock service worker, Stripe subscriptions, a database with Supabase. I think these two go hand in hand. I'll only have subscriptions if I can keep track on them on my own system as well, have some unique content there. But also let me know in the comments here, in the Discord, wherever you want. Let me know what you'd like to see next. Again, on Friday, I do random streams, anything goes, anything that tickles my fancy or the audience, what you want to see, I may do on Fridays. But on Tuesdays, I will keep it focused on Next.js. And first, we will see this project through my own portfolio site, the Blogfolio site. But I may be able to shoehorn in at least a demo of a feature that you want to see. So most things can go in a Blogfolio, to be honest. So suggest a way. In simple terms, Next.js Tuesday, Svelte and other stuff Fridays. I will see you then on Friday, but do give you a chance in the chat to have any final thoughts. I will check for my puppy as well. See, well, I like when she makes coming appearances. If she's awake, we'll see. I'll give that a quick moment. Puppy nowhere to be seen. I can only assume and hope that my fiance took her for a walk and they're having a lovely walk together in the Barcelona sun. I may join them after this. And I will see you on Friday if you want to see more tech and live coding and more chill code happening. And next Tuesday if you only care about Next.js and this project. It's always fun when others code with me, even if they have the stream on the background. Makes me feel a bit better. It makes the time go a bit faster. It makes me organize my thoughts too. And it also makes me rumble, but in a good way, like I am now. Once again, have a lovely week. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you next time.